my sons, right, on Friday. One up north isn't now saying it. Right, Nasrallah gave a big speech where he was like, you'll fear the wrath of God, and then pussied out massively. So, but we didn't know anything about October 7th. No, it was not. We did not a thing. Don't blame us. And don't do a preemptive. They're shitting themselves. Oh, love that. And I think basically Hamas is as well. Because, Hamas, they have two options. They can surrender or die. That's really it. Surrender or... okay, but, I was reading the Apocalypse Water here. There you go. The Apocalypse War. Freaking love this, right? Actually, my wife got me this really nice Judge Dredd 12-inch figure with for my birthday about 5-10 years ago, I remember, which came with the stub gun, right? And this is really where I first started reading Judge Dredd. This is my first... The first cover I can really remember was this one. Freaking love that, right? So Judge Dredd in the Apocalypse War breaks into... you have Chief Judge Griffin was captured from Justice 2 in space, and then reprogrammed by evil Sov block scientists for propaganda war, right? And so Judge Dredd goes on a covert mission to break into the Grand Hall of Justice to execute him. The whole thing is good, right? The whole thing, I'm enjoying it. But basically, the end of it, they go on a covert mission under where are they? A covert mission to one of the East Meg 1's missile silos, and they use those to blow up East Meg 1, right? And then there's this bit at the end where there's like, you just killed 50 billion people. How do you do that? And he was like, don't start a war. Is this a bit? Hey, I'm looking for it. Don't start a war. Or something like that. It basically, I keep thinking to Hamas, man, here we go. This is it. If I make now, here, Pat Mills and, oh man, I can't get it in focus. What's he saying? What's the matter, creep? Don't like a taste of your medicine after he's blown up East Meg 1. You shouldn't start wars if you can't take the consequences. Really? They should drop that all over Gaza, right? They should drop that all over Gaza. We call it Gaza here. But yeah. So there's a few clips though that I trawled this afternoon, which I think it's worth going over. Where we go? Downloads. What do you want to talk about the colorized Dalek, by the way? The colorized Daleks, I'm in two minds about, right? I am in two minds about. Firstly, I love this, right? And I'm not going to show the full clip because it's 4 minutes. It goes on forever and basically does the same thing.
Taking that down for.
Okay, these are a couple of lesbians. I believe they're in the LGBTQIA alliance. And, I've come to realize, you know why there's been this weird banding together of radical Muslims or normal Muslims, as it might turn out, and trans people and LGBTQ+. It's the coalition of bullets, right? They are screaming their freaking heads off, right? They're relentlessly screaming their heads off because they're not getting what they want instantly, right? And that's really the bottom line. Oh, did I not... Oh man, I should have got this one clip of somebody being pushed away, these people being pushed away from the cenotaph, and they are screaming their bloody head. Cenotaph is the British War Memorial. So yeah, so this woman has taken down one of the posters of highlighting the 200 and however many is hostages, hostages that Hamas has taken. By the way. There's this thing saying, we'll swap all out your hostages for all of ours. For theirs, they're talking about people who are tried and convicted and in jail. Yeah, no, you're not getting your rapists and your fucking murderers in exchange for the babies. No, you're getting nothing, right? You get no fuel, and which is what we're sticking firm to, which I'm glad about. You're getting no freaking fuel until every hostage is returned, right? And you got plenty of fuel, darling. Like, plenty of bloody fuel.
Because it doesn't need to be there?
Well, thanks for your decision, right? You decided it didn't need to be there. You Jew-hating cunt.
Please don't film me.
Please don't film you. That's why you're on my stream right now, darling. 100% why you're on my stream right now is because you don't like being shamed. And why are you ashamed? Really? And that's the thing. Why do all these protesters cover their fucking faces? Right? If they're so fucking proud.
Taking down the sign.
Yo, dude, fuck off. Please don't film me, please.
So, this is in Montclair. This time, she just took it off.
Dude, I don't want to be on the internet. Please don't film me.
We didn't want all these people kidnapped. We didn't want all the people raped and murdered. We certainly didn't want a baby baked to death in an oven, right? Even the Germans gassed us first, right? Yeah, no. Yeah, we didn't want that. But you're a hateful Jew-hating cunt. So, please don't film me.
Get off then.
I'm asking you to go away, please.
Why'd you take it off?
I'm telling you no, cunt.
Off for?
Because it doesn't need to be there.
Why?
Thank you. You can go away now, please.
Why are you taking it off for? You took it off? You're proud about taking it off?
It is an alliance of bullies. I mean, that's really what it is. Bottom line, it's just an alliance of bullies. And man, are they bullies, right? They just scream and scream and scream if they don't get exactly what they want whenever they want it. Oh, I was saying about Gary Lineker. There's more stuff about Gary Lineker. Gary Lineker criticized ministers for urging Met Police to ban provocative and disrespectful march on Armistice Day. Criticized Brown as describing as hate. Tell you what, Gary cunt-face Lineker, right? How about this? Why don't you do a special report from Gaza? Why don't you bed yourself with Hamas, right? You fucking moron, right? You fucking moron. Oh, man. I think Andy No posted it. I'll try and find it there. But yeah, that's on this cartoon. I was like, yeah, this is 100% accurate, right? 100% accurate. Here we go. Share screen. Doink. We will keep killing as many Jews as we possibly can until Israel is wiped off the face of the map. It's obvious they just want peace. Yes, I know. These people are the biggest fucking morons in the entire fucking world. So Gary Lineker's been spouting off. But it's, what amazes me is how strongly people believe the bullshit, right? And I find that to be kind of universally true. When something is bullshit, people believe it much more strongly than we're not. Because I think it's all tied up with them just not wanting to be wrong. Bottom line, here, 1 second, doink. Share screen. I'm on the wrong thing. Doink. Let me take that off. Share screen. Doink. No, wrong thing. There you go, right thing. So was it Andy? No. Anti-Israel activists have made their own copycat flyers, but now they show Palestinians that died in the war. Murdered. Mohammed. Really? Well, what happens if we start tearing them down? Right? Israel self-defense checklist. Genocide. Okay, darling. Here, let me see if I can find this tweet. I mean, the nonsense that is genocide is beyond me. Right? It's like, it was by Dave Rubin. And for one weird reason, Candace Owens started talking about genocide. Like what? I mean, she's normally so together. And where is it? No, back. No. More anti-Semitism. Back. Where is this? I've totally lost. Where was it? Candace Owens posted something about genocide, and Dave Rubin, actually, who she works for, I think, showed the growth figures in Palestine. There is no. Where is it? See, this is the trouble with Saturday nights, right? I really don't have enough time to collate everything before the show. Maybe just do a search for Candace Owens. Then I'll find it, right? Candace Owen. There you go. Owens. Actually, am I spelling Candace wrong? What? Apparently I was. Look at that. Look at that. Where is this? No, something about genocide. Oh! Ugh, she tweets too much. TikTok. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Found it. Found it. There we go. Doink. So Dave Rubin comes on and says, "I'm sure you know, Candace, the Palestinian population has grown 5 times in the past few decades, but thank you for taking a strong stance against Hamas stated genocide of the Jews in their charter." I guess, I mean, again, what genocide is there if you have a massive, growth in population? Bullshit. That's where ethnic cleansing. The only people ethnic cleanse were Jews, darling. They ethnically cleansed the Jews when they disengaged from Gaza, and they gave it to the people of Gaza, who then voted in Hamas. There's a whole other thing we can go into that, but they basically voted in Hamas. They said it wasn't a fair election. It was a Hamas versus Fatah, and they Hamas did a lot for the. They had a very good ground game in that election, right? They had an extremely good ground game in that election. Which is why I think they won it. So ethnic cleansing. Yeah, you ethnically cleanse the Jews. Annexation. We gave you fucking Gaza, you morons, for peace. And what happened? Relentless war. Apartheid. The only apartheid exists in Gaza, mate. I'm sorry. Right? All citizens have the same rights, but they believe it with such ferocity and such intensity. But where's this clip of people being? Oh, where'd it go? Come on, no. Fine. Now I've got look. This guy, Andy. I didn't want to get Andy Ngo. But he had this great video, man. Like again, if you live in London and you're Jewish, leave. Come to Israel. It's not safe for you there. Right, I want to be clear. It is not. Oh, this is the one. Is this the one? It is not safe for you there. Yeah, 1 second. Doink. Let me grab this video. I have to go. No idea where I am right now. But it's very indicative, right? Very indicative of what's going down. Oh yeah. So anyway, so the first one, my first son. Yeah, I'll watch this first. I'll tell you. Save video as doink. Doink. There we go. Share video file. So if you just copy it, I'm essentially saying this is a coalition of bullies, right? The Hamas supporting free Palestine from the river to the sea will kill all the Jews. Them, the people who the people who have penises and are women. You know, if you say you don't really go along with that, they will scream and scream. They will bully you. Yeah, people who don't have good ideas only know how to bully, right? So that's what they are. These are all bullies. But this is what happened when they were shooed away from. Again, look, I'm very heartened that England, like people who feel patriotic about England and British values, are standing against this, right? Because I think no greater sign that you have a growing large population who are not interested in joining you in good British values. I think British values are very good, right? I think Britain is a great country, right? I think it's a very moral country, even though, you know, they did a lot of shitty things. I think basically, yeah, you're good, average English person is a decent, moral human being. But this is what happened.
Don't tell me what to do in my street. I live in this borough. Yeah, pay council tax. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And then there's was it 100,000 people just like this? Again, are they pro-Hamas? Do they anti-Jew? I think a bit of both. I don't think from free Palestine. I don't think they care about free Palestine. I think they just care of freeing it from Jews.
قدامي فلسطين انا شو عملتك الله الى الاخر
And honestly, Jews are being attacked everywhere. Come home. Come to Israel. Really, come to Israel. It's time to come to Israel. But here's the interesting thing. And I'm hoping this is going to be a world-changing thing, right? This has produced such an incredible moment of Jewish unity that people I fundamentally disagreed with and disliked, on a really visceral level, right? And I'll say they're waking up to reality. Last week I showed the video by Mayim Bialik, the woman from Big Bang Theory, who was just in tears and amazement, right? That all the institutions she believed in just took a piss on her, right? She was in absolute amazement, right? I kind of compared it to the Boney M song by the Rivers of Babylon. It really fascinated me, right? Because where we sat down and we sat down and cried, right? That's the song. This was a psalm, I believe. Was it a psalm? But anyway, it was written when the Jews experienced their first exile from Israel into Babylon, right? And the song is really sung with this beautiful pain of slavery and redemption, right? Which you needed real African black voices for, and I think it really, really sold it. But I'm always fascinated, right, thinking about the person who originally wrote that in a foreign language, in a completely foreign language in a completely foreign world, in a complete watching Top of the Pops and say trying to comprehend it. Right. Have you ever read Alan Moore's From Hell, which is very, very good? It's an exploration of Jack the Ripper. The final chapter is the guy who he thinks was Jack the Ripper. So William Gull, the royal surgeon. His idea was that they faked his death and he spent the rest of his life in an insane asylum under the name Mr. Mason. Right. So you have this moment when he's dying. And you have the last issue is his whole death experience and how he reverberates throughout time and sees things in the future and the past. It's just incredible, as he's dying. So I imagine the guy who wrote By the Rivers of Babylon, Hanaras Abavel, it's called in Hebrew, seeing what he wrote echo through eternity and hearing his amazement. But So another one, Bill Maher, right? Bill Maher. I got to thank Problem Being for posting this. Problem Being is a great source of firstly entertainment. I do love his Twitter feed. It's really genuinely entertaining as he swats down people left, right, and center. But he highlights things. And again, we are normally on opposite poles, right? We for reasonably good reason, right? We're normally in a different universe. Now we're united again. There's this little maybe if I can find it for you. One sec, Torah tidbits. There's this little booklet that gets handed out free in synagogues each week. Basically, it's a here, look at that. It's got a website. Basically, it's a sales it's an advertising sheet. But the cover of this week, I think, says it all. United we stand, and man. We're united like we've never been before. So this is what this clip is about, which I haven't really seen it in the full yet, and we might not watch the whole thing, but because it goes on for a bit. But we'll see.
A new rule for all the progressives and academics who refer to Israel as an outpost of Western civilization like it's a bad thing. Please note, Western civilization is what gave the world pretty much every goddamn liberal precept that liberals are supposed to adore.
I mean, again, Bill Maher's been a little bit, I mean, he's still got Trump derangement syndrome big time. But boy, has this been a wake-up call for Jews around the world, right?
Individual liberty, scientific inquiry, rule of law, religious freedom, women's rights, human rights, democracy, trial by jury, freedom of speech. Please, somebody stop us before we enlighten again. And since one can find all these concepts in today's Israel and virtually nowhere else in the Middle East, if anything, the world would be a better place.
I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. And it's incredible how people like Owen Jones, everything he says he believes in goes out the window when he can do a bit of Jew hatred.
If it had more Israels. Of course, this message falls on deaf ears to the current crop who reduce everything to being only victims or victimizers. So Israel is lumped in as the toxic fruit of the victimizer.
That's why I think they hate talking about October 7th. They hate talking about the hostages. They hate talking about the kidnapped children, right? Because their entire worldview, their entire paradigm rests on there being victims and oppressors. And the minute the other side becomes oppressors, they don't know what to do.
West. The irony being that all marginalized people live better today because of Western ideals, not in spite of them. Martin Luther King used Henry David Thoreau's essay, Civil Disobedience, to help shape the civil rights movement. The UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights owes its core to Rousseau and Voltaire. Cleisthenes never showed up for a sexual harassment seminar.
Well, I think in Greece wasn't really called harassment, just, having fun.
But without him, there's no democracy. The cop who murdered George Floyd got 21 years for violating his Fourth Amendment rights, an idea we got directly from John Locke, who no one in college would ever study anymore because he's so old and so white and so dead.
Again, I think it's just liberals, especially only liberal Jews, though. It's incredible. I think liberal Jews are like, how? How did this go down? What a way Jon Stewart falls out. Man, I mean, because he's such a dick.
So Western. Yes, that's how simple the woke are. It's never about ideas. If it was, would they be cheering on Hamas for their liberation? Liberation? To do what? More freely preside over a country where there are no laws against sexual harassment, spousal rape, domestic violence, homophobia, honor killings, or child
homophobia? You get killed for being gay or imprisoned.
Child marriage? This is who liberals think you should stand with? Women there should be so lucky as to get colonized by anybody else. And for the record, the Jews didn't colonize Israel or anywhere ever except maybe Boca Raton.
He's making a good point there. Have you ever been to Boca Raton? A lot of Jews, a lot of old Jews, right? And the weird thing is, it's full of old Jews. You ever watch Seinfeld, right? When Seinfeld goes to visit his parents in Boca de Vista, whatever, that is so accurate. That is so insanely real, okay? Don't think that's not real. Also, have you ever seen the show The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels? I think the second or third season, they go to the Catskills for the summer, right? New York Jews used to go upstate to this gorgeous rural area every year for like 8 to 12 weeks during the summer, a place called the Catskills. They still do, right? It's crazy.
Gaza wasn't seized by Israel like India or Kenya was by the British Empire, and the partitioning of the region wasn't decided by Jews, but by a vote of the United Nations.
Don't bamboozle these people with facts. I'll just get mad at you, Bill, mate.
1947, with everyone from Russia to Haiti voting for it.
Well, my theory is because they thought the Arabs would just wipe out the Jews and, everything would be better there.
Apparently they don't teach this at Drag Queen Story Hour anymore.
See, this is why I'm worried about the new era of Doctor Who. Because Rusty Davis seems to be very much in the Drag Queen Story Hour group.
Now, it is true that for too long, we didn't study enough Asian or African or Latin American history. But part of the reason for that is, frankly, there's not as much to study. Colleges replaced courses in Western Civ. Boo! Eye roll, dead white men, am I right? They replaced that with world civilization classes, which is fine in theory, but what it meant in practice is you read queer poetry of the African diaspora instead of Shakespeare. And I'm sure there's value in both. But as usual, America only ever overcorrects. And so we're at this place now where the words Western Civ became kind of a shorthand for white people ruined everything. But
Forward if he actually gets back to his work.
And we're all atrocious. Not just the white ones, depending on who had the power. But it was the Western Enlightenment that gave rise to the notion that the law of the jungle should be curbed. Henry David Thoreau, John were the owed to submit to the rule of law, that punishment should not be cruel and unusual, that the accused people get a trial, that there is such a thing as a war crime. Why is it that every other culture gets a pass, but the West is exclusively the sum of the worst things it's ever done?
It's not the West. It's the Jews, mate. More than the West.
You think only white people colonized? Historians estimate that the very non-Western Mr. Genghis Khan killed 40 million people, and that was in the 13th century.
40 million? Bloody hell. You've got to be very busy to do that, right? That's a lot of work.
Colonizer of vaginas. Like it's a contradiction in terms.
No, fine. I agree with him, right? I agree with him. Very strange times, right? It's very strange times we agree with. One last thing. Who don't I agree with? BBC. What? I mean, like, okay. I was talking to Dan the other day about the colorized Doctor Who, right? I was saying it really should the Daleks. I'm like, well, why is it on BBC One, right? Like, as a flagship, it was like, Tzvi, mate, Tzvi. It's not like it used to be. BBC One isn't prestigious anymore. I was like, really? Wow. But check this out. The completely, totally balanced BBC reporting, and I love the way the Israelis took the piss out of them recently.
Hospital. It contains images you may find upsetting.
I find your image upsetting, darling. Oh, he's done in the water. He screamed like bitches.
Around 4 this afternoon, many people.
Okay, there you go. Right, this goes. Oh my God, how can this be happening? Now, why am I taking the piss out of this guy? Right? Why am I taking the piss out of this guy? Well, I'm taking the piss out of the BBC. Right? Because any video with him in is, as we can say, a bullshit. Complete and total bullshit. Why am I saying it's complete and total bullshit? Firstly, these are the morons running the BBC, right? That guy you saw in the video just now is this guy. He gets around a bit, right? He's called a crisis actor, right? And he's in lots of videos doing things. He's a patient that was dying. He was a revived corpse. War correspondent, freedom fighter, blood donor, foster parent, American Idol. He was on American Idol. Tour guide, radiology. Yeah, they change him all the freaking time, right? And somebody did this one. New Met commissioner appointed. Well, that would make sense. Well, yeah, well that would make. I mean, fucking BBC. Like, what is up with you guys? What is up with you arseholes? Honestly, what is up with you? It's getting really, really crazy. And this is kind of like a global revolution where I called it yesterday, a coalition of bullies, right? And it really is. It's people who don't get in their own way, and they scream and they threaten, they intimidate and they shout. And no wonder Antifa goes with them. And no wonder the trans lobby goes with them. Right? They all do the same freaking thing, right? They all do exactly the same freaking thing. Oh, I can't stand it when somebody starts talking about that and somebody goes, well, you got to look at the history, and then recounts the history completely falsely, right? As if they think they know it. Look, dude, anything that they say is a lie. It's okay, look, I try to be nice about this. I try to sugarcoat it. But they just lie about freaking everything all the freaking time. Oh, I mean, like you got the Nakba, right? Where they believe an invading army of white Europeans came in and raped and murdered the Palestinians the peaceful Palestinians off their land. No, that did not happen. And quite frankly, the Palestinians get expelled from wherever they go because everybody hates them. I'm sorry. Like, have you noticed no one's taking any refugees from Gaza? No, there's a reason for that, right? There's a bloody look, Egypt. You're right. Egypt's lined up tanks to make sure they don't come in, right? Because they know what they're going to be like. Look, they talk about the blockade of Gaza. It's Egypt and Israel, right? All its neighbors, awful. Honestly, look, this is the future I hope for, right? This is really the future I hope for, because we're gonna look at it in a minute. The people of Gaza are just, they're not allowed to say anything about Hamas because they'll get killed, but they're just saying screw this, right? Screw, there's a lot of that going on here. Let's look at some of that stuff. Hang on, video file. What we got here? There you go. The whole city is like, this has been like since I've been employed. The whole city is unemployed. I'm not only speaking on my behalf, I'm speaking on behalf of all Gazans. I really believe it, right? They fucked off with this shit. Yeah, our kids lost 12 years of their lives. For what? Yeah, like this. Honestly, you could have been living free. You could have been living in luxury. You could have been a wealthy city. But no, you just like Hamas wants to kill Jews, right? They just want to kill Jews. I'd say, in all fairness, I don't speak Arabic. I have no idea what she's saying, right? The Israeli stuff I can translate. The son of Hamas leader who is only 20 has a car, a Jeep, home, and he's married. He's like, you should really shut up, darling. Darling, you should really shut up. This is not going to work out well for anyone. And our children have literally nothing. Yeah, they live in freaking squalor. I mean, they live in absolute freaking squalor, and I'm not going to deny that. And it's totally Hamas's fault. I want to send a message to everyone. Come here. Come see how God's was like. See how everyone wants to get out. I don't blame you, right? I don't blame you. So this is the way I see forward, right? For this destroying Hamas. I mean, that's number one. And man, I'm like, listen, I'm hoping. I was hoping for some like 6-day war miracle. I'm still hoping, right? I'm still hoping, but like again, my son's in active combat. I have no idea what he's doing. Like, what do you do with a tank in Gaza? Like, I don't know. I mean, isn't it all tunnels and but whatever? I'm sure he'll tell me when I see him again. Get rid of Gaza. Get rid of Hamas. Yeah, get rid of Hamas, and then take control of. I would say like have like the boots on the ground. There be some Arab states, Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia should police it, and they should work with Israel to rebuild, right? And start that rebuilding straight freaking away, right? Let them see what life is like without Hamas straight away, right? And then take control of their media and say we can be friends. We don't need to fight, right? You can be a Muslim, you can pray in a free city, you can be wealthy, and they could be wealthy. That's the thing. It should be, and the first you have all the like Israel is a major tech hub in throughout the world. they could glob onto that. They could go into tourism big time, right? And there is so much tourism that can be done in Gaza, also in Bethlehem, also Hebron. There's so so much stuff that they could really make a lot of money from and massively improve their lives, like in a major way. It's a long process, I think, but that's what I would like to hope. Right, that's what I would like to. But like, this is a flashpoint in the West, because look, the Western values are very, very compassionate. Listen, I was listening to talk radio today, and I felt really bad for all the people voting in who are one woman literally in tears about what has happened to their country, because it's not that people are so pro-Jewish. They don't like a bunch of Jews shivering in fear from these massive bloodthirsty crowds that are just baying for blood, right? And they have no respect whatsoever for British culture, right? I love British culture, right? I think British culture is fantastic. But where we are. So over here. I mean, this is fucking disgusting. Why would you remove reefs from a memorial? Is that the senator? I don't know, but like, what? I'm like, replace it with Palestinian flag. What's wrong with you people? Right? I mean, it's just and like, now look, you're getting like, could you imagine what these hundreds of thousands of people would be like with guns if they wanted to kill you, right? If they're not getting their own way, that's you're getting to see what it's like. And man, everything just seems to be backfiring for them right now. I mean, like, again, how stupid do you have to be to want to do it?
It's so windy that the reefs have been knocked off.
It is. It's I mean, like, I honestly, can you work out what the hell's going through their minds, like when they do that? Yeah. Like what? How do you think this is going to make you look good? And it is. It's pretty truly disgusting. And I think the really genuinely moral, good British people, and look, the British public are there's a lot you can say about any group of people, man. But look, the British people have always been on the right side of freaking history, right? They've always been on. Okay, I'm with you, mate. Like, why alienate your host country that way? I don't understand, because I don't. It's just like stupidity, right? Utter stupidity. And people say these are pro Hamas rallies, right? Universally, it's pro Hamas. If they would come out and say, we denounce Hamas for the atrocities, but you get it as like, I mean, Owen Jones doesn't even bother anymore, right? You're just like, British Nakba, blah, blah, blah. But look, here's a guy at a rally holding up a Hamas our terrorist sign, and they should all be agreeing with him, right? They should all be agreeing with him, but this truth. And look, okay, look what happens. And why do they all cover their fucking faces? Really? I mean, why is they constantly all covering their faces? It doesn't make you look good.
Ignore him.
Again, you're not supporting Palestine. You're supporting Hamas.
Shame on you! Shame! MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Sorry. No. Calm down. Hey. Don't touch.
And if Jews do anything, they go, look at you violent, evil Jews. Oh, yeah, well, of course, we all knew you were the worst in the world. I mean, like, Jews do literally anything whatsoever, right? We get pillared like there's no tomorrow. So I lost the button. Where'd it go? How is he shame on you saying Hamas are terrorists? They are literally, I mean, this guy probably works on BBC News.
Hamas is terrorist organization.
And of course, the police remove him because the police are shitting themselves in general, aren't they? I mean, like, here, 1 second. Share screen video file. Where is it? Well, there's a bunch we can look at. Where's it? The police. Okay, yeah. Look at it. This is the Met stopping somebody.
You can hold it. You can wave it. It's just we don't just not with all that Arabic causing any sort of issues with the barriers. You have your flags, just not on the barriers. That's it.
And yet, when they march down with hundreds of Palestinian flags, you won't say a word.
One just went past hanging out of the car. You never see fuck all. There's way more of them than there is of us.
There's way more of them than there are of us. It's always the way. But you know, used to be there was a respect. I mean, not just a respect for the bloody country. You know, again, let me save that video 1 second. There was a respect for the bloody country, which there just isn't. There's like thinly veiled hatred of Britain and the West.
You never said fuck all to them. No, it's displaying on these barriers. I know, but he's driving a motor. We're talking about these barriers. It's not about the motors. I'm just talking about the barriers. They was flying them off.
And it's really weird that that the sides are breaking down this way, right? But again, listen, look. British public have always been awesome, right? And I really, really genuinely look. You saw off Mosley, you saw off Hitler, you saw off Corbyn. I think they've been right every time.
The other day, you didn't do nothing then, did you? I wasn't there. No, you wasn't there, but you didn't do nothing as an organisation. I'm sorry. Yeah, just because there's just a few of us, you're giving it.
I feel sorry for this kid, right? I mean, like, who knows if he agrees or disagrees? But Sadiq Khan is a disaster. Has he even commented yet about how forget how knife crime, how he has let his city fall apart. Why? Because he's on the side of Hamas, right? Anybody calling for a ceasefire is on the same side as Hamas.
I'll tell you, mate, when the FLA walked through here with 70,000, you didn't have a word to say, none of you.
You're saying it's about me, I've been a part of this team.
The police are harassing patriots here about their flags.
And that's really what they are. The police are harassing patriots about their flags. This is a pretty good clip of that as well.
The human shields! How can you stand after the 7th of October with that flag? How can you stand against your brothers and sisters in a land that gives you freedom and opportunity? Because you're brainwashed. Hamas is the problem. Extremism is the problem. Free Palestine from Hamas!
Free Palestine from Hamas!
Free Palestine from Hamas!
Free Palestine from Hamas!
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. But again, there's tens or hundreds of thousands of them, right? I think people are freaked out. People are scared. People don't like being bullied, and they're being bullied, right? People don't like, and they are being bullied. This is a funny thing, though. Because I told you this was a coalition of bullies, right? So this is the what happened when Antifa meets Muslims, right? It's strange.
Because you actually have no evidence for anything.
This guy engages people in conversation about transitioning children, right? And of course, Antifa, the cows that they are, hide their face, and they go and harass them.
Do you know about half of these kids? Trying to propagate anti-LGBTQ propaganda. He's trying to tell children that they're not allowed to be trans.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not.
Okay, you're wrong.
In some religions, you can't do that. Yeah, you have to respect that decision.
3 Abrahamic religions,
yeah,
LGBTQ.
But in some religions, they accept that. But in our religion, you can't do that.
Look at these morons, right? Look at these absolute morons being hit in the face with reality.
What religion are you? What religion are you?
Meanwhile, mate, the only place where you do have LGBTQ rights is in Israel, in the whole region.
Why are you then?
And they call that pink washing.
What's your identifier?
Look at this little coward wearing his mask. He doesn't have a religion.
What's your identifier? Okay.
Boss, wait. Shut up.
No.
Where you from? Where you from?
Bro.
Where you from?
That's right. Run away.
Yeah. You got to laugh, baby. You got to laugh. That's all I can say. What else we got? Oh yeah, look at this. Just going to McDonald's is too much, right? Look at how these people are being harassed. Just for going to McDonald's because McDonald's exists in Israel and is a major employer of Palestinians. What is wrong with these morons? I mean, if you say shame on you for having a McFlurry and McDonald's apple pie, I understand it, right? But no, it's just me thinking.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
They're screaming at these kids. What the hell? But you shouldn't need a police escort to come out of Mickey D. It's strange and crazy times, right? And this is the thought point where the West and the I would say the Arab world, the Muslim. Remember how they kept? Remember that Capaldi speech and Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion? No, war's pointless. You're dealing with people who just want to kill, right? Okay, why do I feel they just want to kill? Well, check out this footage here. This is from October 7th. This is a one of the first police responders that came to the music festival after the. Now, this is very graphic and very violent, okay? I warn you now. And again, I want you put yourself in this guy's position, right? I want you to put yourself in this guy. Feel the fear. And this is a normal cop, right? He hasn't seen any shit like this. Nobody has. And this wasn't so bad compared to the other shit they did. That's he's counting all the people that he's seen that's down, that's dead.
Police woman
there was killed. He's saying, is there somebody in here that's alive? Yeah, and he looks and sees it.
יש פה הרוגים, כולם הרוגים, כל הבמה הרוגים. כל הבמה הרוגים. יש פה מישהו עם סימן חיים, שייתן לנו סימן חיים.
Siman Chaim, sign of life. He's looking for sign of life from anyone.
מישהו שיכול לתת לנו סימן חיים. מישהו עם סימן חיים.
And these are the people they're supporting. Right? The people who like, and this is the least fucked up thing they did that day. I mean, genuinely, this is the least fucked up thing they did that day.
שום סימן חיים? לא. היא מתה. היא מתה. היא מתה.
I'm trying to be commenting, but I'm too shocked by what I'm saying. Like, it's too much.
מישהו, בבקשה. מישהו יכול לענות?
I can't imagine what it was like for this cop, right? It's unbelievable. And This is I think a notch or two worse. This is there's a couple of little girls in a car. Their mother's been killed, right? And they're terrified, right? They're terrified. Saying, no, please, no. We won't shoot you. We're the police. He want to see what he was actually saying. The Israelis? Yes, sweetie, yes. Save us, please. I mean, God, listen to this little girl's voice, right? Saying, save us, please. Yeah, she's saying she's got her baby sister in there. Her mother's just been killed. In the front, it's just like, I can't even imagine. Like again, these are not pro-Palestine rallies. These are pro-Hamas rallies. Why? Because this is the fulcrum, the breaking point, where it just like where the mask comes off about everything, right? Yeah, you might wonder why the police seem to be veering towards one side in this, right? You know, other than the shit scared of the gazillion Arabs that will tear them to pieces. But this is one of the Metropolitan Police's advisors who was giving them policy in their incident rooms. Right, this again. I mean, it makes sense. You've got to expect it.
Is global censorship by the Zionists. Global censorship to silence us.
Well, okay, this is what this global. I mean, yeah, that's the most traditional anti-Semitic thing ever, and that's the police, right? And that's the police. And what happens if the police say no to anything? This is what happens when the police.
Get the fuck back! I cannot believe you guys are taking this.
It's unbelievable, man. I think British people are like, yes, they've had enough, right? But at the same time, you got I would say about 30% of the population who are like, believe every Jew-hating thing that could possibly be said. We're going to end on this. This is Ben Shapiro, who normally gets up my nose, right? He does normally get my nose in the Oxford Debating Society. A couple of bits from him there.
I listened to your whole history for like 5 minutes here.
Yeah, the history of like how the Jews raped and murdered the Palestinian people, off their land. Which again, bullshit. In 48, the Jordanian army and the Egyptian army told them to vacate, and they will take care of the Jews, and then they can come back. Jews won, and they never came back. At the same time, by the way, 900,000 Jews were expelled from all the Arab countries around, right? And they end up in Israel.
So at least let me respond to it. Your entire claim is that the Arabs did not reject peace, and then in your own disquisition, you admitted that the Arabs rejected the Peel Commission.
I don't know what disquisition means, but it makes you sound smart using it.
Plan, which was a separation between the Jews and the Arabs, which gave an extraordinary amount of land to the Arabs. The Arabs then rejected the peace partition plan proposed by the United Nations in 1947. They then proceeded to reject the Oslo Accords in 93. After that, they rejected the Wye River Accords in 98. They rejected Ehud Barak's very generous offer in 2000. They rejected Olmert's very generous offer in 2008.
By the way, we all thought it was Orthodox Jews thought it was an open miracle. They rejected that because that would have really been bad news for us, right? Anyway,
every single peace deal that has been proposed by Israel or anyone else has been rejected by the Arabs for a very simple reason, which was the very first question I asked you. You do not accept that there should be a Jewish state anywhere in this region. So as long as that's the case, there's literally nothing to argue about. You cannot simultaneously maintain the position there should not be a Jewish state anywhere in the region and then tell me that I'm wrong when I say that the Arabs will not accept a two-state solution. You yourself say that there should not be a two-state solution.
While I agree with him, I do also understand how Jews get up people's noses from watching that. He irritates me. Okay, he irritates me too.
Based on the numbers, more Germans died than Brits in World War II. Did that mean that the British were wrong in World War II? Because they did. Many more Germans died than Brits. Based on the numbers, does that mean that Britain was wrong in World War II?
Britain wasn't bombing civilians.
Which part of Israel is occupied Palestine?
All of Israel.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So what you're calling for is the obliteration of the state of Israel, and all of this is just a cover for that. I appreciate your time.
They just don't want to live with Jews, right? And again, Ben Shapiro kind of shows why you wouldn't want to live with Jews. I get it.
I think tonight we've seen some evidence of people obscuring some clear moral differentiation between the targeted burning of babies in their homes in front of their mothers by shoving them in an oven and people attempting to kill terrorists who are themselves putting civilians in harm's way in violation of the rules of war and the Geneva Conventions. And if you're one of the people who's making this sort of moral equivalence, I ask for you to check your own heart. And if you're one of the people who's watching people make this moral equivalence and being convinced by the supposed complexity of the issue, I ask for you to check your brain. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. There you go. That's been today's Gaza Watch. It's not really more like Britain Watch. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.